Guys, how are y'all doing? Coming at you with another video this Monday, ready to get the week started with this message that's been coming through. And in this video, guys, I am going to be talking about how to reparent your inner child, like what that looks like, where to start, and how to start to move through that healing process specifically for your inner child workings. Okay, guys, and those of you who are new and just joining me, my name is Arlessa Wise. I am a soul and mindset coach that is geared towards helping people identify where they need to heal past traumas, past experiences, and all the gross stuff that we hold on to, how to facilitate that healing through mindset shifts, as well as somatic release, releasing it from the body. So mind and body, soul balance, guys. All right, now we're getting into this video. I did want to mention that it may move, like you see it moving, the camera. Okay, so I'm on my bed and just kind of decided my daughter's in the living room and, you know, doing some things in there. And so I said, you know what, I'm just going to put the camera here on the bed and just do it. So if it's jiggling around, that's what it is, guys. Y'all know me, and if you don't, look, I don't do a lot of editing. I probably should down the line, but I just kind of like to shoot from the hip with my messages as if we're just talking in person. So I hope that that's something that resonates with you, and if the camera moving bothers you, I'm going to try my best not to do it. All right, so let's get right into this video, guys. So what does it mean to reparent your inner child? I'm sure you've heard it, you know, a lot of times, especially if you're someone that's on your healing journey and, you know, you've started to become aware of different things that people are talking about, versions of ourselves, you know, things to heal, bringing out past traumas. So a lot of our past traumas and the things that we ultimately need to heal and shift with our mindset and our behavior and all that stuff to lead and to pivot with change, a lot of it comes from our childhood. Now, I do want to point out a lot of the things I'm going to say, I want you to keep in mind that we are all evolving through our journey. So even like me, I'm a parent and I am continuously learning. So that as a parent, I'm able to see the role that I wasn't able to see when I was a child. So I'm able to look back and be like, you know what, my parents were also doing it for the first time, right? They're also just parenting and learning. And I wasn't necessarily the easiest child. So, you know, and I'm learning a lot about myself with that, you know, about, because I am actually AUHD. So I have recently learned that I am on the autistic spectrum. So, reparenting my inner child has been something I've been really geared towards doing because I have a lot of shame behind a lot of things that now I understand as ADHD and autistic traits. And I grew up, you know, really believing a lot of things about myself that now are more explainable and can be managed and regulated. So going back to that young version of myself is just really, really important. It has been, and I've been doing that. So my videos have kind of been a little less because, you know, I went through some changes and then a death in the family and then going ahead and that kind of catapulted me into further inner child healing. So it's kind of all trickled. So if my videos slow down, just know that I'm probably going through a healing spurt, but I'm going to come back out with all the lessons I learned through that. So I've been doing a lot of this inner child healing work. So it's really just an important message for me to get out to you guys because I think it can be really scary. For one, the healing journey is scary, having to revisit anything that we're trying to heal, because we have to heal it to feel it, or we have to feel it to heal it, and we have to release and do all of that in order to release it. So it's a very tumultuous relationship with your healing journey. So when we start digging into our inner child wounds and we start really locating where a lot of this stuff is rooted from, it can really trigger a whole lot of things. It can bring up a whole lot of stuff that you have to be ready to confront in order to release. Now, it is very scary to confront these younger versions of ourselves because those younger versions didn't have the capability or the knowing that you have currently right now, which I think is really mesmerizing to me. It's just such an intricate connection with each version of ourselves that we have evolved through, because those versions only were capable of what they were capable of in the moment. So they went through different means of survival mode, different means of self-soothing and coping and figuring out life as they were able to without having anything, you know, explained to them. I mean, we're just now, if you think about it, or at least I guess to my knowledge with my own journey, it seems like we're just now really starting to get healing and ways to facilitate that healing more mainstream these days, because a lot of people are collectively waking up to, hey, you can step into your full potential, your full power as you're meant to, as long as you work through the things that were either pushed on you, you put on yourself, all of these things. It's just really beautiful in the healing process. Now, it's not beautiful through the healing process, but on the other side, it's really spectacular. So go into your inner child, and what it looks like reparenting that inner child is taking you as the adult version of you, okay? And think about this, the healing that you required is always going to be the way that we treat our own children, right? Or things that we feel like we didn't have, we make a point to do it. Or we always heal and become the person that we needed most back then when we were experiencing, I like to say, like these screenshots, because whenever we go through impactful traumas, experiences, it could be any size, whatever. It's about how it impacts the nervous system when it happens. You know, all of this, our younger versions kind of just take on, and they hold and they deal with the best way they can. So now that you know what you know about yourself, you're able to revisit that version, that inner child, that past version of yourself that didn't know the things you know now. And you're able to allow them to say, hey, it wasn't your fault what happened to you. Okay, you didn't cause this. And you have that discussion, and I'm getting chills while I'm saying this. So I know the message is going to find the right person. And I know that my guides are like, zapping, and I love that. But it's about saying, hey, it wasn't your fault what happened to you. Okay. And even though you took that on, and even though you've carried it this far, you've actually handed it off to each new version of yourself to handle it with care. And now you're the version that is capable of talking to that inner child and taking this on, but not carrying it any further, but allowing that past version of yourself to be set free and understanding all of the things that you weren't able to understand that caused you to push it down deep, to hold that trauma, to keep it in your body, keep it in your mind, heart, and soul, and carry it with you. But now you can release it when you start to do that, okay? You start to parent that past version of yourself with the knowledge, with the compassion, with all of the things that you've attained now in your journey. And how beautiful is that? So it is necessary. Look, I've had to reparent the teenage version of myself also. Okay? Like, I was off the rails to a lot of degree. I mean, I just had no emotional regulation, and I grew up really strict Pentecostal. So for me, I was ready to kind of get out into the world and just experience it. And so I went a little off the rails. You know, I left home at 17, and although I did come back a little bit, it was very tumultuous and tough love situations. So I was actually homeless for maybe about two and a half years. I don't really tell people this. There are some people who are really close to me who do know this, because I still have some friends that were my friends at the time then. But I was homeless for about 2.5 years. So I gained a lot of shame behind that, and where I set myself statistically in society, like in the world, and like what I had materialistic and the money I had and things like that, where it was kind of how I felt like I was worthy, because I went through this time in my life where all I ever did, I mean, I really just would be like, I can't wait to have my own bed. I can't wait to do this. And I was really in that circumstance by my own doing, but there was a lot of different, you know, circumstantial factors where I didn't have the capability of really understanding or pivoting out of that. And so I've had to go back to that version of myself and really hug her tight and say, hey, you know, you felt all of this, and this has led to a lot of things in my, you know, further life where I've had my relationship with money and the fear behind that, and, you know, losing material possessions and just, you know, what I have. I've kind of always set myself at a status based on what I had because of that short time that I was homeless, and I didn't really have a whole lot. And luckily I never really had to sleep on the actual streets. You know, I always found somewhere to go. But at the same time, I carried a lot of shame and having to accept help from other people when, you know, you just don't know what to do. So there are these connections with ourselves, these past versions. So it's not just like, oh, the younger you. I mean, yes, a teenage version is younger me, I'm going to be 43 this year. So, you know, I'm talking about like the 17 and 18-year-old me. I've had to go back and I've had to really visit and hug that version of myself, give that version of myself light and understanding, and free her from what she just didn't know and didn't have the capability of doing back then. Okay. And so I've worked through it. It's hard. It's tough. It's challenging. It's going to pull it out of you. It's going to tug at these places and these corners in you that you've kept hidden and protected for so long. Vulnerability is hard, especially vulnerability with ourselves. Okay, and I'll say that again, vulnerability with ourselves. It should seem like it's easier. Vulnerability with other people can be easier if you have the right people around you. Okay, we feel a lot about our connections. So, but vulnerability with ourselves is taking accountability for the choices we've made and what we're gonna do to change that part about ourselves, learn that part about ourselves, hug and heal those past versions of ourselves, and bring all versions in one accord with one another, because some of the past versions of ourselves are still in survival mode, and we feel it when we go through certain situations, right? We feel it deep, and we don't know what it is. But you know what, really? It's our inner child that we haven't talked to, and we haven't hugged, and we haven't told it was okay, and we haven't reparented, saying, I don't know what to do in this situation. In the past, this has happened, you know, and we have the egos like tries to protect us, and then we go into these coping mechanisms, and we do all of these different things that are actually connected to what we've gone through in the past. And these are the past versions of ourselves that are tugging and trying to protect us. But the new version, the one who you are now, the one that realizes that you have the power and the capability to take control of your own healing, has everything within them, every tool within them. And you can go to that inner child and you can say, hey, it wasn't your fault. Okay, I'm gonna take this now. You can release all of that baggage. You can release all of that shame. You can release the blame, everything that you've carried on your shoulders up to now. You can release that because I'm taking it from you. And it's no longer going to sit at your feet, nor mine. We'll release it together. And then you come into one accord with the inner version of yourself. Ooh, I got a little emotional thinking about that just because it's so powerful, guys. I can't even tell you how important this work is to do. There's also other somatic release exercises that I really love to get into, and I do with my clients. And of course, I will probably start doing videos that have to do with somatic release. And there are other somatic release breath work exercises that I do with my clients that, actually go longer. But I do have some that I'll start to release that you can do at home. You can do yourself. You don't have to have somebody facilitate. This is something that you can do. And then on top of that, you are in self-discovery mode, figuring it all out, learning more about yourself, and really pushing through the process. And that's what it's all about, guys. It's not about me or anybody else healing you. It's about you healing yourself. We're just the conduits, the people who show you what doors to walk through. If it feels good, do it. If that feels like something that you know you want to do for yourself, do it. I'm your biggest cheerleader. All right. So it's up to you. You are the one that heals yourself. Okay. All right. It's us. We do it. We do it. Nobody else does it for us, right? People can show us the way, help guide us, but it's always up to you to take control of your own healing journey, guys, right? It may not have been your fault what's happened to you, and that's okay. But it is your responsibility to learn how to adjust, adapt, heal, release, so that we're not putting it at the feet of the past versions of ourselves, still carrying it, putting it at the feet of others, with our behavior or whatever is affected by the trauma, any kind of trauma response. So guys, it's about taking your power back, and you can do it. Look, if I can do it, you can do it. So guys, I hope this video found you well. I hope it helped a little bit. Have a great week, and thank you so much for watching my videos. It brings me a lot of joy, especially when I hear of anybody who's watching my video and says, hey, you know what, this really resonated. It just tells me I'm on the right path and I'm doing exactly what I know in my heart I'm meant to do. All right, guys, y'all have a good day.